Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's Christina from Our Wood Home. Today I'm sharing another piece of vintage homemaking advice. This is from a publication called Homemaker News, and it was put out by the USDA Service Office of Information, I believe. I'm reading this from a vintage document and it's a little bit hard to read just because of the age, and it's a digital version of a print version from November 25th, 1942. The title of this publication, or this article I suppose, is called Make Good Use of Sauerkraut. Let's get into what this says. Are you eating your share of sauerkraut? There is a plentiful crop of domestic, big-headed cabbage, great quantities of which ordinarily go into commercial kraut. Lacking tin, packers have put millions of gallons of kraut into barrels, and there is still cabbage remaining on the market or stored for selling throughout the winter. So when you buy kraut in bulk from the grocer's barrel, or make kraut at home, or eat the cabbage raw or cooked for that matter, you are lending a hand to save one of the country's good food crops from waste. Sauerkraut, or sour cabbage, furnishes a contrast in flavor at a meal and contributes some minerals and vitamins. Famous teams are kraut and sausage, kraut and spare ribs, kraut and pig's knuckles. But these are only a starter. Diced apple and kraut, browned together, make good teammates. To some people, turkey or goose stuffed with kraut is a festive dish. It is traditional also to team kraut with such foods as fried liver or baked fish. When you plan dishes to spread meat flavor, or main dishes to alternate with meat, try sauerkraut scalloped with macaroni and bits of meat, or kraut scalloped with leftover mashed potatoes and a generous amount of cheese. And don't forget that kraut juice chilled makes a good first course. Some like it straight, some prefer it with a little lemon juice or mixed half and half with tomato juice. There is more than one way to cook and season sauerkraut itself. When you eat savory sauerkraut, as it's sometimes called, you are having the Norwegian style. It's done quickly this way. Lightly brown 1/4 cup or less of fat in a skillet and add 1 quart of sauerkraut and 1/4 teaspoon of celery or caraway seed. Mix well, separating the kraut with a fork. Cover and cook for 5 minutes and serve hot. You can give the kraut a Pennsylvania Dutch touch when you add onion, apple, and a chopped potato. That's the end of that article from November 25th, 1942. I think it's so interesting to read historical recipes or any publication that talks about food from a different time. There's a lot that's similar to how we make or consume food now, but there's definitely different ways of doing it, for example, in the 1940s than presently. I know a lot of people use sauerkraut as a sandwich topping, especially in the summer on hamburgers or hot dogs or sausages. I'm honestly not a big fan of sauerkraut. I don't really like a lot of those pickled fermented foods, but I know it's very healthy and I do enjoy making sauerkraut. Over the last few years, I've become very interested in recipes and foods and cooking methods from the countries that mine and my husband's families originated from. Sauerkraut is especially interesting because I'm realizing it's very popular in different countries and they all have their own different ways of making it. I've been looking into Russian sauerkraut, which is fermented, and it also has carrots in addition to cabbage. I've also been doing some research on Polish cabbage, or Polish sauerkraut, and Slovakian sauerkraut. Right now, I don't make sauerkraut very often. I just make it with cabbages that I grow in my own garden, and I didn't have a great yield last year. But I have tried fermenting sauerkraut and then making it with vinegar, so it's more of a pickled cabbage and less an actual fermented sauerkraut. It was interesting. I'm trying to get more comfortable with cooking with sauerkraut and putting it in soups or stir fries. My stepmom is Russian, and she told me it's very common to put sauerkraut into soup. It adds a really unique flavor, she said. So I'm hoping to try that with some soup recipes. I'm not really sure which recipes would taste good with sauerkraut mixed in, so maybe I should ask her for her recommendation. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this historical reading all about sauerkraut. Let me know also if you currently consume sauerkraut and if you make it yourself. I'd love to know some tips for that. If you like what you see or hear on my channel, I hope that you consider subscribing. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.